Ethan cleaned the oil from his palms as the aged coupe wheezed into his yard, vapor steaming from its engine. The lady who emerged appeared drained, her gaze weary, her attire creased, her purse bare. Ethan had scarcely covered rent that month, yet her reluctance stirred him. She murmured, "I've got no cash." He eyed his tarnished tools, then her tattered boots. "I didn't request any," he answered, his voice soft but firm. Unbeknownst to him, this simple gesture of compassion was about to spark a ripple effect that would transform everything. Ethan Harper had known brighter times. His small-town garage, once alive with motors and chatter, now resonated with quiet and the rare clink of wrenches. Bills stacked unpaid on the walls, and the faded "Help Wanted" sign had weathered months of sunlight. Yet Ethan unlocked his shop daily with relentless optimism. That evening, as the sun sank behind the trees, a worn-out coupe rumbled into his lot, smoke billowing from its front. Ethan wiped his hands and stepped out. The driver's door creaked open slowly. A woman, perhaps in her late 20s, stepped out in a threadbare coat and jeans worn thin. She glanced around anxiously, gripping her phone like a shield. Ethan offered a nod. "Overheating?" She hesitated. "I believe so. I'm sorry, I didn't know where else to turn." Ethan raised the hood and gave a quiet whistle. "Radiator's done. You're fortunate it got this far." She bit her lip. "Can you repair it?" He met her gaze. Her eyes spoke before her words. I can't pay now. Could I settle later, maybe?" Ethan paused. He had bills piling up, mouths to feed, and a bank growing impatient. But his heart, still untouched by cynicism, won out. He sighed. "Leave it here. I'll handle it." She blinked, stunned. "Really?" He offered a gentle grin. "I've been in your shoes." Tears glistened in her eyes, quickly brushed away. "Thank you. Now I'll repay you, I swear." Ethan didn't expect to see her again. Promises like that were common. But he fixed the car anyway, working late into the night, even adding a spare battery he had. By dawn, the coupe was ready. She returned, still shocked by his kindness. "Why help me?" she asked softly, her voice trembling with gratitude. Ethan shrugged. "You seemed like you needed someone to trust in you. That's enough." She smiled, said her name was Lily, and drove off. Ethan watched her taillights vanish from his porch, assuming that was the end. He was mistaken. By dusk, his lot was encircled by vehicles that didn't fit his quiet town. Ethan was deep in an oil change when he heard the first engine, sleek, hushed, undeniably costly. He wiped his hands and stepped out, expecting a lost traveler needing guidance. Instead, his heart raced. A black Rolls-Royce Phantom glided to a stop at his lot's edge, followed by a silver Bentley, 2 Mercedes G-Wagons, a Tesla Model X, and more luxury cars, lining the gravel like an extravagant parade. Ethan blinked. Such cars were rarer than snow in summer here. His pulse quickened as well-dressed drivers stepped out, scanning the place. A man in a sharp suit and sunglasses approached. "Ethan Harper?" Ethan nodded warily. "Yeah, who's this?" The man handed him a glossy, embossed envelope. "You're invited." Ethan opened it. Inside, a single white card read in elegant script, "You changed a life. Now it's your turn." Before he could question, the Rolls-Royce's rear door opened. Out stepped Lily, but she was unrecognizable from the penniless traveler. Her hair was styled, her coat designer, her demeanor radiating quiet authority. Ethan froze. "Lily?" She smiled warmly. "It's actually Clara Whitestone. My family owns Whitestone Ventures." Ethan's jaw dropped. Everyone knew that name. One of the richest families in the nation, spanning tech, real estate, and fashion. "I didn't deceive you," she said gently. "I left home with nothing but my name to find someone genuine, someone kind without a motive. I found you." Ethan struggled for words. "You planned this?" She nodded. "I had to see how you'd act with no reward. Now I want to invest in your future." A man stepped forward, handing Ethan a folder. Inside were papers, a full shop renovation, premium tools, a financial advisor, and a business grant worth more than Ethan had earned in 10 years. His hands shook. "Why me?" Clara stepped closer, her eyes earnest. Because you didn't just mend my car, you restored my belief in humanity. The world needs more of you. Ethan glanced at the fleet of cars, then back at the woman he'd helped for nothing. For the first time in years, hope surged, not as a wish, but a reality parked before him. Ethan barely slept that night. The folder rested on his kitchen table like a treasure, too surreal to grasp, too life-altering to ignore. He kept checking it, expecting the figures to vanish or fine print to scream, "Gotcha!" But it was real, every word. The next morning he returned to his shop as the sun rose, expecting silence. Instead, his lot buzzed with construction crews, equipment trucks, architects and designers, unloading plans, measuring walls, inspecting everything from pipes to the old lift he'd patched for years. A tall woman in a hard hat approached with a clipboard. "Mr. Harper, we're here to start the transformation." Ethan blinked. "Transformation?" She smiled. "Miss Whitestone's funding a complete overhaul, top-tier equipment, solar roofing, eco-friendly insulation, digital systems, a customer lounge. Is everything. Oh, and she insisted the vintage Harper's auto sign stays, said it's the heart of this place." Ethan's voice wavered, overcome with gratitude. "This is really happening," she grinned. "You earned it." By noon, Clara arrived in a simple electric car, dressed casually, blending in. She walked beside Ethan as the old garage was dismantled. "I want this place to flourish," she said. "But more, I want you to lead something greater." Ethan raised an eyebrow. "Greater than fixing cars?" She nodded. "A community program, free repairs for struggling families, mentorship for troubled youth, workshops for real skills. I'll fund it all, but you'll be its face." Ethan's throat tightened, deeply moved. "Why me?" She looked him in the eyes. "Because when no one watched, you chose right. That matters more than any resume or suit." Ethan turned to the shop, now half torn down. It had been his father's, filled with memories, sweat, and stories in every scratched wall. Now it was being reborn, not just as a business, but as a beacon. The town noticed. Locals stopped by, wide-eyed. Rumors spread, some true, most wildly exaggerated. But one thing was clear. Ethan Harper was no longer just the quiet mechanic with oil-stained hands. He was becoming something greater than he'd ever dreamed. Within a week, Ethan's once quiet corner of town became a spectacle. People drove from nearby counties to see the rising steel frame and sleek glass panels of what was fast becoming the region's most advanced auto facility. But it wasn't just the building, something deeper was shifting. The day the sign went up, Harper Auto and Community Garage, Ethan stood beside it, hands trembling with pride. Beneath the main logo, smaller words gleamed in silver script. Powered by compassion, open to all. Ethan had insisted on it. Every day brought new faces, some wealthy, curious about Clara's mysterious project, others desperate, clutching repair bills they couldn't pay. Ethan never turned anyone away. He offered free diagnostics, honest advice, and time for those needing to talk. One afternoon, a teenage boy named Lucas arrived, shoelaces undone, shoulders slouched. His mother's car had failed blocks away. She worked 2 jobs, and the transmission was shot. Ethan sent a tow truck, no charge. The next morning, Lucas returned alone. "Can I learn what you do?" Ethan handed him gloves. "Let's start with oil changes." Word spread quickly. More teens followed. Ethan built a workbench for them, teaching not just wrench skills, but pride in their work. Some had skipped school. Some lacked father figures. In Ethan's garage, they found guidance and dignity. Clara watched quietly, visiting often, blending in, refusing credit. When asked why she chose Ethan, she'd say, "Because he chose people." One night, Ethan closed the shop late, standing by the glowing sign. Behind him, the mentorship workshop buzzed with laughter and tools. He looked at the stars, then his calloused hands. So much had changed, yet his core remained. What began as a small act of kindness had grown into a movement, but something bigger was coming. Ethan felt it, closer than he knew. 2 months later, Ethan stood on a charity gala stage, never imagining he'd headline. In a simple black suit, slightly uneasy but tall, he faced beaming spotlights and flashing cameras. Hundreds filled the ballroom, executives, celebrities, local heroes, all eager to hear the mechanic who gave a free repair and changed a town. Ethan cleared his throat. "I'm no speaker," he began, voice steady but heartfelt. "I mend engines. I thought that was all I was good for until someone came, broken in more ways than one, and I did what felt right." He paused, finding Clara in the crowd, her eyes locked on his, filled with quiet pride. She didn't reveal who she was. No promises, no deals, just asked for help. I gave it, not expecting a return, but because I knew her struggle. He looked down, then up. What followed wasn't the goal, the money, the shop, the attention. The real reward was seeing Lucas and others show up, not just to learn mechanics, but to believe in themselves again. Thunderous applause erupted as he stepped back. Clara joined him, holding a sleek envelope. She smiled softly. "You deserve the world, Ethan. Now you'll help build one." She handed him the envelope, a deed to a vast facility outside town. 10 acres, a learning center, a shelter, a training ground for the forgotten, already in motion, with Ethan leading. That night, Ethan sat under the stars, clutching the deed, listening to the town's night sounds. Everything had changed, not by luck, but by one choice to help without reward. His shop had become a symbol, his hands hope, his heart steady, humble, unshakable, the core of something far greater. Kindness had come full circle, building a legacy,